Hello, my friends. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of Attorney Session Reacts. I'm your host, Attorney Marcus Session. Today, we're going to discuss the Donald Trump conviction, the Donald Trump trial. He was recently convicted of 34 counts of falsifying business records. We're going to discuss that. We're going to answer all the fun questions. What is he actually convicted of? When is his sentencing going to take place? How much time could he face? And what do I think is going to happen? So stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Yeah. Woo. You need reactions and be ready in a second. Want the lower baby court is now in session. Yeah. You need reactions and be ready in a second. Want the lower baby court is now in session. Let's go.
Okay, for the first time in U.S. history, in our country's history, a former president has been convicted of felony charges in a U.S. court. What was the former president Donald Trump convicted of? He was convicted of 34 separate counts of felony falsifying business records. That's doing stuff like paying a porn star $150,000 to shut up and keep some secrets and coding that payment as a business expenditure. So 34 separate counts of that. When will the former president be sentenced? Judge Merchant set his sentencing date for July 11th. This is just a couple of days before the Republican National Convention, where they were going to confirm his nomination as the 2024 Republican presidential nominee. Will they go with someone else like a Chris Christie, who I'm actually a fan of? I doubt it, but we'll see. How much time could the former president face? Okay, so there's 34 separate counts of falsifying business records, and the prison sentence for each one of those counts could range anywhere from probation to 4 years in prison, but they'll run concurrently. So let's just say if the judge decides to give him 4 years on each of the 34 counts, well, those prison terms will run concurrently, means they will run all at the same time. So he could be out in 4 years. At worst case scenario. Best case scenario for him is that he'd receive probation and he'd have to check in with his PO like all the other brothers in the hood. I'm joking. Relax. But it could be probation, or it could be some other form of conditional discharge where as long as he stays out of trouble, then, nothing else will happen to him. Personally, I think the former president will be given some form of probation or conditional discharge. That's just my opinion. I don't think this judge wants to set a precedent of being the first judge to sentence a former U.S. president to jail time. That wouldn't be a good look, but you have some opponents that say he did the crime and needs to do the time just like anyone else, right? Look, man, I'm not supporting for or against the former president. I'm not making comments. I'm just reporting the news, and at the end, I'll give my honest commentary of what I think will happen, and that doesn't come from a place of support or a lack of support. That comes from a place of just what I think is going to happen based on my feel of the American people. But back to the main questions at hand. Can the former president still run for president, and can he still serve as president of the United States of America as a convicted felon? The answer is, drum roll please. I ain't got no damn drums, but the answer is yes, he can. That might surprise a lot of you guys, but yes, he can. There are only 3 requirements listed in our Constitution that makes a person eligible to be president of the United States of America. And those are: he must be a natural born citizen of the United States of America. He must be at least 35 years old. He's covered twice that. And he must have been a resident of the United States for at least 14 years prior to running. As I said, those are the only 3 requirements per our United States Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land, right? And of course, the Constitution and certain provisions have been interpreted by the Supreme Court countless times. But in terms of an individual's right, or in terms of an individual's eligibility to become president, anything not expressly mentioned in the Constitution can't be assumed. So the Constitution doesn't mention anything about convicted felons not being able to become president of the United States. So ultimately, we can assume that the framers of the Constitution intended for felons not to have the ability to be president. Now, what does Attorney Sessions think is going to happen, right? As I said before, relax, guys. This doesn't come from a place of support, or it doesn't come from a place of, me being an opponent of the former president. But I don't think he serves any jail time. As I said before, I think he gets a probationary term or a conditional discharge where there's no probation. He'll be subject to good behavior for a certain period of time. I think he still runs for president if the Republicans confirm him once again as their nominee. And strangely enough, for some odd reason, I don't know, maybe I'm just shooting at the dark here, or maybe I'm just guessing, but I don't think this harms his base one bit. His supporters are his supporters. They will support him no matter what. Michael Chandler, the MMA fighter, put out a tweet saying, "You had my back, now I have yours." So I think this unifies Trump supporters. I think this unifies the MAGAs, and it actually makes them stronger for some odd reason. It's like seeing, their leader become a living martyr, and that makes you want to support it more. Now, when it's all said and done, it's unclear that Trump's status as a convicted felon will have an effect on a campaign or his campaign once he begins to truly campaign for the presidency. But brace yourselves, America. We could very well see the first ever convicted felon president of the United States of America. Tune in next time. Thank y'all for tuning in. Again, please like and subscribe to the content. Leave your comments. I love interacting with you guys. And until next time, take it easy, my friends.
Let's go.